Morning, everybody. Well, it's a beautiful Monday morning. Let's see what we can get done today. Come along for the ride. What I'm working on today is I'm trying to get the rest of this floor put in the head today. Tomorrow the floor strippers that I ordered are supposed to be in, so we'll actually be able to wrap the head up tomorrow, but I'm gonna get as far as I can get today with it, which that'll be the rest of the poly put in the floor, the back floor stripper put on and bolts in that, and then it's a matter of waiting for the front or forward facing floor strippers to be in. I can change the guards. There's only like 2 or 3 knives that need to be changed here, and like 4 guards, 5 guards, something like that. So those won't take that long to change. The biggest thing is getting this floor in. Once the floor is in and I get the strippers in, then we'll be ready to go. And then it's a matter of changing the oil in the combine, greasing it, and then the combine's ready to go, and we'll be set for wheat, I'm hoping. Right? Yeah. I just got a phone call from the one of the local Harley dealers around here. They had a motorcycle. Most of you guys don't know this, but they had a motorcycle last week that the wife and I went down to take a look at. It's strictly a toy bike. It's not like it's going to be our daily cruising bike. It was just going to bike for fun. We were thinking about trading in one of our other bikes in on it. And I told the wife, if they give us at least this much for the bike we're trading in, I'd consider buying this other bike. They came in a little bit above what I was expecting to get for the bike. So I was like, okay, that fell into line. And I told them I didn't want to do any money out of pocket, just the trade-in value is what I was going to put down on the new one. And this is the payment that I wanted to be into. Well, everything fell into place except for the payment. They couldn't get me into that payment that I was wanting, so I said okay, and walked away from the deal. That was last week. Actually, it was a week ago today, Monday. Wednesday, we went down for a bike night. Ran into the salesman. The salesman says, hey, you know, we still have that bike here, blah, blah, blah. And I told him, I'm like, you know the deal. Get me in that payment. We'll talk. Well, that was Wednesday. Yesterday, Sunday, he called me, and I didn't get the message in time. By the time I called them back, they were already closed. Well, he just called me back a little bit ago, and he says that they're interested in dealing on that bike. I says, okay. I go, you know the criteria. No money down. My trade-in's the money down I'm going to put down. This is the monthly payment I want to be in. You have to adjust the bike accordingly or figure something out. And he said, okay, let me see what I can do. So, who knows? We'll see if we end up with another motorcycle or not. It's funny how it works, isn't it? All right. I just figured I'm gonna go back to work now. Okay, just to touch base again. I know I did this in the last video, but what we're doing is yellow poly floors getting put down here, and there's this strip. I think I got this end still a little loose. This strip here, that's what holds the front of the poly down. Well, every 6 inches, you have to drill a hole and put a pop rivet, drill a hole, put a pop rivet, and you got to do that for the entire 30-foot length of the head. So, as you can see, I've done more than half of it already. You see the pop rivets there? Pop rivet there, pop rivet there, pop rivet there. So as you can see, I've done more than half of the head already, but it's time consuming and tedious of drilling these little holes and pop riveting and drilling another hole and pop riveting and drilling another hole, so on and so forth. So that's what I'm dealing with right now. That's why I'm not filming it, because it takes so long to do it. I'm not, even if I did it in fast forward, I don't think I've got enough battery life in the camera to do that. Garbage. I have gotten to the point now that I've got all the rivets in and everything drilled, and I'm putting in that the back stripper bar right there that I'm not replacing. So that one is a lot of up and down. I gotta crawl under the head, put a nut in, crawl back over, drill a hole, drop a bolt down, and it's getting there, I got the yellow poly floor put in place. The back stripper bar is put in place. I started to replace these auger fingers, and I ran out. I need 2 more, but I'm gonna order 5. That way I've got 3 on hand, because a few of these are kind of they're looking kind of rough, as you can see here. So by ordering a couple extras, when these snap off, then I can replace them out in the field. What these do is, as the material gets cut with the sickle bar mower here, the cutter bar, the material falls onto the table. These tubes, this is what they call an air reel, blows everything into the auger, and the auger turns and pulls it to the center of the machine, which these fingers just help grab material and throw it into the machine. It just kind of helps track it in, and when you get quite a few of those busted off, then the head's not working properly. I ended up putting 1, 2, 3, 4 of them on, which that's what I had on the shelf in the barn, and I need 2 more. Then all the fingers are done correctly. So I'm gonna go order those right now, and hopefully they'll be in sooner than later. They might even have them in stock, I don't know. The new stripper bars should be in tomorrow. They're supposed to come in on Tuesday. So if the new floor strippers are in tomorrow, then I can get those in, get these few guards changed and a couple knives changed, get those 2 auger fingers in, and grease this head, and it'll be done and ready to roll. Then we focus on this big boy, getting it ready. This really shouldn't need nothing but an oil change, filled up with fuel and government juice and greased, and it should be ready to go, to be honest with you, because it's a relatively new enough machine. But we'll see. We'll go through her and find out what all it needs, and it shouldn't need much at all, to be honest with you. And then we'll be ready to roll for wheat, other than I got to hook the tractor up to the grain cart, but that'll only take 20 minutes. All right, let's go order these parts. Good news, bad news. Bad news is they didn't have it in stock, the parts I need. Good news is they'll be in tomorrow by 11. So we should be able to wrap this head up tomorrow, I'm hoping. So I think what I'm gonna do is I'm going to end the video here and just pick it up tomorrow where I left off. You guys have a wonderful evening. We'll talk to you tomorrow. Good morning. Yeah, obviously it's the next day. I'm going to, I think while I'm waiting for parts to come in, I'm going to change the guards and a couple knives that I need to do on this. And I got looking. When we put everything away this past winter, because we had such a muddy fall of harvesting and everything, I dropped the head on the header cart and we power washed the head, but the header cart itself didn't get cleaned. So you can kind of see some mud there built up and mud here. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to change the guards, the knives on that, and I'm going to move the combine out of the way, and I'm going to hook up to this header cart. I'm going to move the header cart around and power wash that just to get it cleaned up and ready to go. That way, gives me something to do while I'm waiting for parts to come in. Parts should be in, they said about 11, but we'll see. Usually it might be a little longer than that, but basically I'm going to go home for lunch around noon, and then because the John Deere dealer is right next door to my house, I'll swing in there and see if they've got the stuff. Well, picked up some parts. Problem is, all that came in were the auger fingers for the head. My floor strippers haven't made it in yet, and she said probably tomorrow now. So I've been kind of waiting for those to come in. I think what I'm going to do now is I'm going to drop that head, back the combine in the barn here, and I can change the oil in the combine and grease it and kind of go through it, providing I've got an oil filter for it. I guess we need to look at that. Look at there. I got an oil filter. I have an air filter. I have a cab filter. So that's good. We've got everything we need. Even have fuel filters. So we'll work on that now. Got the big old girl in the barn here. She's warmed up. We got to go up top, open the valve to dump the oil. And while the oil is dumping out of here, then I come down and I open up all these guards and shields and everything else to kind of get things ready for service. But there's a lot to service on this big old girl. It just kind of dawned on me that a lot of you probably don't even know how to get up in the engine compartment of a combine. So I'm going to show you real quick. We'll swing a door open and pull a ladder out, and then I'll take you up in there and let you see what it looks like. It's that easy. Now let's see if I can climb up here without dropping you guys. You see the ladder here. And we'll climb right up in here. This is the radiator right here. This big old thing is a radiator. This screen turns and it keeps shaft and stuff from going into the radiator and plugging that. This is the DEF tank, aka government juice. And this big thing right here is the actual fuel tank. So when you step up, like right now, I'm standing on the fuel tank, as you can see. And to get into the engine compartment, if you look up there, that's the grain tank. The grain, those hoppers, we fold those up in the field, and that's the bin. Then this ladder flips up, locks into place. These doors are on magnets, so you just pull them open. There's the engine. Kind of cool, huh? And I forgot to show you this big old thing here is the air filter. There's also, when you climb up on this deck going into the grain bin, this deck, hang on, I'm going to set you down just for a second. Maybe that'll hold. It's resting against the rafter there of the barn. But you open this up and you can see it's more of the engine compartment. So, at any rate, you kind of get an idea. So now I'm going to dump some oil. The oil here is just on a gate valve. So I've got the buckets in place down below. I just crank open the gate valve and the oil starts flowing out. So I'm up here in the engine compartment. I figured I'd show you guys how to change the oil filter. The oil filter's right here. It's a canister filter. But anyway, as I was here, I'm sitting there, I'm like, where am I gonna set you guys so you can see this? And then it dawned on me, I'm sitting in a big metal box and I got a magnetic base, so it doesn't matter where I put you. I don't know. Sometimes I think my age is getting the best of me. But regardless, I don't know if I'm a fan of these oil filter containers, or whatever you want to call them, or if I prefer the regular oil spin-on oil filter. But regardless, I'm gonna go get a pan because this is gonna make a mess. Hang on. Okay, I'm back. They do have an Allen head right here so you can drain this container of oil, but what's the fun in that? That's just a bunch of weenies. So, pop that off. And they give you a new O-ring to go around this thing, so I always like to install the new O-ring. Just because they give it to you, so you might as well install it. It's a real simple thing to do there. Then you take the new filter, pop it in there till it clicks, and screw it on like that. It is a simple design. I just don't know if I'm a fan of it or not. Part of me thinks that oil can get around there. It's not a good seal like the spin-on filters, but I mean, what do I know, right? The John Deere engineers obviously know more than I do, you know, because they went to school. I'm going to pull the old air filter out while I'm up here. The less trips up and down the ladder, the better. Oh yeah. That thing is dirty. This is the inner filter. Normally I just change the outer filter. I'm going to show you a good way to test to see if it's how dirty it actually is. She's due. I got to show you this. I should have waited until Friday to change the oil and air filter, because exactly 1 year ago Friday is when I installed this. 1,750 hours was on it when I installed it. So now I'm going to go up and look, see how many hours are on it now, and that'll tell me how many hours in a year I put on the machine. Last year, combining beans with this machine, we put 149 hours on it. So that's 149 engine hours, and I don't know how many separator hours. I did not write that down last year, but I wrote it down on here this year. So we'll be able to know. We're going to put about the same amount of hours on it this year. In fact, we might put a few more on it because we picked up some more ground. So who knows? Alright, I've got her full of oil. This particular machine takes about 8 gallons of motor oil. And, well, at $31 a gallon, you guys do the math. That's about $250 just in motor oil. Then you add $200 for the air filter and $60 for the fuel filters and $40 for the oil filter, and then we also got cab filters to put in, and I honestly don't remember what the cab filters cost. So yeah, that's close to a $500 oil change. Garbage. I'm gonna end the video here, I think. I think I've dragged this video out long enough. And so tomorrow, hopefully the floor strippers will come in, we can finish the head. We can get this thing greased, get the cab filters changed. I do still need to change the fuel filters on it and kind of go through and make sure all the belts and pulleys and chains and everything and tensioners are all good and clutches are good. So there's a good day, 3/4 to a day worth of just checking and double checking stuff on the combine before it's ready for the season. So, all right, you guys have a wonderful evening. We'll talk to you later. Thanks for watching.